up, Dodgers Nation? D-Mac here. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. Juan Soto rejected a $440 million contract offer from the Washington Nationals, and now the Nats are going to be listening to trade offers for him. Should the Dodgers get involved? We're going to dive into that in just a second, but quick reminder for all the latest Dodgers news, rumors, hype videos, interviews, breakdowns, and more all season long. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you want to see us post even more Dodgers content and you really want to support the channel, smash that like button. And as always, I want your takes down below in the comment section. Today's Dodgers Nation question of the day: should the Dodgers pursue a trade for Juan Soto? Do you want to see LA go after Soto? Do you think the price would be too high? Do you think he's worth it for the price that he's going to command when it comes to prospect capital? Let me know down below. And for all the latest Dodgers news, head over to DodgersNation.com. So this morning, we got a bombshell in Major League Baseball. Ken Rosenthal reported that Juan Soto had rejected a $440 million contract offer from the Washington Nationals, and that the Nationals will now entertain trading him. So Juan Soto, one of the best players in the game, still has 2 years of team control left after this season, and he won't turn 24 until October of this year. So he's going to be hitting free agency unless he signs an extension to whichever team the Nationals trade him to at the age of 25. And there's no question that Soto is a generational talent. He is the childish Bambino. He has been labeled the modern day Ted Williams for a reason, and that's because of that plate discipline. That is because he has an uncanny eye at the plate. Even this year, when he's had a down year by his standards, he still leads all of Major League Baseball with 79 walks, and that's on a bad Nationals team. Has that OPS up to 895. Has 19 home runs and 17 doubles on the season. But you're talking about a guy that he's on track to be a Hall of Famer one day. Now, he's just 23 years old, is a multi-time All-Star, and like I said earlier, he does have 2 years of team control left. Now, will the Dodgers get involved in a player like Juan Soto? Now, the big question for me is, what is the prospect cost going to be? Because this is going to be an unprecedented haul when you consider his age. He is just 23 years old. You're going to get him for his age 24 and age 25 season, and he's still due for some big paydays this year, making over $17 million, and he's probably going to get somewhere around $29 million in his final year of arbitration. So if I'm a team trading for Juan Soto, make it the Mets or the New York Yankees or the Dodgers, some of these big market teams that actually can possibly afford a player of his caliber, I'm thinking, can we get a deal done as an extension? Now, is that possible? Well, it's kind of unlikely when you consider the fact that he's represented by Scott Boras. And you know Scott Boras, he wants to set the all-time record with Soto. And if you look at the Nationals' offer, $440 million, that still would have been an all-time number when it comes to just an entire contract, but that was 15 years and an AAV at $29.3 million over 15 seasons. That wasn't going to get it done for Juan Soto. That's not the record that they want to set. Now, the next question I have is, when will the Nationals trade Juan Soto? Because I think for them to actually trade him before the August 2nd MLB trade deadline, they're going to have to be blown away by an offer. This feels like a move that could be made in the offseason when they have more time to evaluate players in other farm systems, players on other teams. And I think if you're the Dodgers and you want to get involved for a player like Juan Soto, the prospect cost is going to be massive, and I don't think it'll stop there. I think they'll be looking for some big league talent. I think they'll want Dustin May, Gavin Lux, Bobby Miller. I mean, you name it. They're going to want a handful of the Dodgers' top prospects. They might even want LA to include the Sandy Koufax and the Jackie Robinson statue, all the retired numbers in the left and right field pavilions, and maybe 4 Dodger dogs and 3 Micheladas at the end of the day. So the prospect cost is going to be absolutely outrageous. And the next question is, does he make sense for the Dodgers? Now, we know he's a right fielder. He's not known for his defense. And of course, the Dodgers' current franchise player is Mookie Betts, who plays right field at an elite level, at a Gold Glove level, and he signed a 12-year, $365 million deal with the Dodgers before the 2020 season. So we know he won't be in right field, but he has played tons of left field. He could definitely be a left fielder for the Dodgers. That wouldn't be an issue. But offensively, do they need another impact left-handed bat? They did sign Freddie Freeman in the offseason to a 6-year, $162 million deal, but it is Juan Soto. What he brings to the table incredible, is just so elite. His hit tools off the charts. His eye, his plate awareness, his strike zone awareness is off the charts. And he also brings that superstar power. He's one of a handful of truly elite superstars that this game has, along with the Otanis and the Tatis Juniors and players of that ilk. But in my opinion, when you consider the fact that it is for 2 years after this season, yes, if you bring him in, he can help you try to win a World Series this year, but you're talking about 2 years, and you're going to have to gut a lot of those top prospects. So what happens if he goes down with an injury? What happens if he has an off year and he's Soto? Then all of a sudden, you're looking at a 1-year deal for Juan Soto, and yes, he's going to be highly incentivized to perform that year because he's going to be in his platform season, but I just think that there's not a lot of margin for error there. It could be a big bust if he does sustain an injury or he doesn't play his best, but I don't think you have to really worry about that as much as the long-term sustainability of this organization. I mean, you gut those prospects, and you really have to start from scratch at the top of the farm system. And yes, this farm system, they know how to develop. This organization identifies talent with the best of them, but that'd be a hard reset with your top prospects there if you want to ship them off for Juan Soto. Now, another way to look at this, if you're the Dodgers, is if you truly believe that Juan Soto is going to be one of the faces of this franchise for 10 to 15 years, and you're not going to re-sign Trey Turner, and you do think you can get a deal done for Juan Soto and be in the mix for an extension, maybe you say to yourself, hey, there's 268 Hall of Famers in the history of this game. There's been over 20,000 big leaguers in the history of the sport. Maybe you say, hey, this is our chance to get our hands on a generational future first ballot Hall of Fame type player, and you do whatever it takes to get him on your club. But to me, the uncertainty of the long-term deal he's going to want to sign, that if he stays healthy, could be historic, could be the biggest deal ever signed in professional sports. So I think if you're the Dodgers in this situation, you ask yourself, do we want to try to maintain some of this financial flexibility, or do we want to tie it up in a few different players, Mookie Betts and Juan Soto? And yes, the Dodgers do make a lot of money. They're bringing in a lot of money with their TV deal. They print money. They wipe their butts with $100 bills. But you can only give out so many of these $300+ million mega contracts, and this team needs some premier starters in the future, and I think that should still be the focus. So I think another way to look at this development is if the Yankees are hot on Juan Soto this year, if they want to bring him in before the trade deadline, because they could definitely use Juan Soto. He'd be perfect at Yankee Stadium, perfect as a left fielder for them. What if they go all in and they part ways with some of their top prospects and they gut their farm system, and the Dodgers say, hey, you guys are in hot pursuit of Luis Castillo? Well, we'll take Luis Castillo, and the prospect cost won't be as high as it once was because you're not bidding against the Yankees. So it's another way to look at this, but I just heard this news. I'm about to head over to Dodger Stadium for the Futures game right now. I wanted to squeeze in this quick video, so we'll do a deeper dive on this, a bigger breakdown of this development with Juan Soto rejecting a $440 million contract. Should the Dodgers get involved? I'll do another video on this one as well. But let me know down below in the comment section, do you want to see the Dodgers trade for Juan Soto? I want your takes down below. Do you think the prospect cost will be too high? Do you actually think they need him? Let me know down below. My name is DMAC. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMAC_LA. For all latest Dodgers news, rumors, hype videos, interviews, and more all season long, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you want to see us post even more Dodgers content, smash that like button. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.